On the fateful night of March 11th, 2012, in the Panjwayi district of Kandahar province, Afghanistan, an incident occurred that would not only shock the world, but also cast a long shadow over the U.S.-Afghan relations and the broader implications of military presence in conflict zones. This incident, often referred to as the Kandahar Massacre, involves Robert Bales, a staff sergeant in the U.S. Army, who committed an atrocity that resulted in the deaths of 16 Afghan citizens, including 9 children, with 11 of the victims belonging to the same family. Robert Bales, a decorated soldier with 3 tours in Iraq and 1 in Afghanistan, was stationed at Camp Balambe near Kandahar. Before the incident, Bales had faced financial troubles, marital stress, and the physical and psychological scars of war, including a traumatic brain injury and post-traumatic stress disorder. These factors, while not excusing his actions, provide a glimpse into the pressures he was under. On the night in question, Bales left his base under the cover of darkness. His path took him to 2 nearby villages, first Alkozai and later Najiban. Armed with a 9mm Beretta pistol and an M4 rifle, Bales entered the homes of unsuspecting villagers. What followed was a night of terror and loss. In Alkozai, Bales killed 11 people, including 6 children. Among the dead were 2 women, 2 men, and 4 children from the same family. The youngest victim was just 2 years old. He used his weapons and even set fire to some of the houses to cover his tracks. In Najiban, he killed 5 more, including 3 children. Here, he continued his rampage, moving from house to house with lethal intent. After his rampage, Bales returned to his base, covered in blood, and was detained by his fellow soldiers. The exact motivations behind his actions remained complex and deeply troubling, with Bales himself offering little clarity in subsequent statements and interviews. The news of the massacre sent shockwaves through both Afghanistan and the U.S. The Afghan government demanded justice, and the U.S. promised a swift and thorough investigation. The incident strained the already fragile relationship between American forces and the Afghan populace, leading to protests and further instability in the region. Bales was flown back to the U.S., where he faced a military trial. He was charged with multiple counts, including 16 counts of murder, among other charges. His defense attempted to argue that his mental state was severely compromised due to PTSD and traumatic brain injury, suggesting that these conditions might have contributed to his actions. The trial of Robert Bales commenced in June 2013 at Joint Base Lewis McChord in Washington. Over the course of the trial, prosecutors presented evidence of the methodical nature of the killings, countering defense claims of diminished responsibility due to mental health issues. Bales was found guilty on all counts. In August 2013, he was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, a decision that reflected the gravity of his crimes. The Kandahar Massacre stands as one of the darkest marks on U.S. military operations in Afghanistan. It highlighted several critical issues. The incident brought to the forefront the often inadequate support for soldiers dealing with PTSD and other psychological traumas. It sparked discussions on how the military could better care for its personnel, potentially preventing such tragedies. The event deepened the mistrust between Afghan civilians and foreign forces, complicating efforts for peace and reconstruction in the region. It raised questions about the ethical conduct of soldiers in conflict zones, urging a renewed focus on training, oversight, and accountability. The story of Robert Bales and the Kandahar Massacre serves as a tragic reminder of the human cost of war, not only in terms of civilian lives lost, but also in the profound impact of the mental health of soldiers. While Bales was held accountable for his actions, the incident remains a somber lesson on the complexities of warfare, mental health, and the moral responsibilities of those who serve in armed conflicts. The scars left on the families of Kandahar, the military, and the international relations might never fully heal, but they remind us of the ongoing need for compassion, understanding, and reform in how we approach military engagements and the care of our veterans.